And when I was growing up, my favorite word was why. And I was always having all these questions, why is the orange called the orange? Why is this white? Why is this not called red? How was the universe created? And on and on and on. And the only answer I ever got was, oh, Brahma created the universe. And I said, okay, so if Brahma has four heads, why do I have one head? I used to wonder all this as a child, and then because I never got any answer, I left those questions behind. And later, when I came to the spiritual path, I got the real answer to how the universe was made, which was more satisfying. So the scriptures say that God is Sat Chit Ananda, pure consciousness, ever conscious, ever existing, and ever new bliss. So when God had to create the universe, God did not have anything to create it with. There was only pure consciousness. So what God did was take a part of his consciousness and put it into vibration, into motion. And when something moves, it creates a sense of time, a sense of space, a sense of vibration and duality. And that is how the universes and our world and everything else came into existence. So the Holy Trinity of Sanatana Dharma or Hinduism, which we often hear as Om Tat Sat, is referring to this process of creation also. The pure consciousness, Sat Chit Ananda or God, which is beyond creation, that is Sat. And then God takes a part of his consciousness, her consciousness, and puts it into vibration, which is called Om. And in the vibration, at the center of vibration, the reflection of pure consciousness is Sat, right? So Sat, Tat, Om is the Holy Trinity. And then in the Christian tradition also, this is comparable to the Holy Trinity of Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. And so that means that everything that we see around us has been manifested by the cosmic vibration of Om. And one way to understand this simply in a way that you will not forget, I hope, is if you are having a ball in your hand, you can think of that ball as God, as pure consciousness. And if you attach a string to that ball and dangle it, it will start moving left and right, left and right. So that movement left and right of duality is Om. And the center point of rest between the movement of the ball is Om Tat Tat. So I get confused. So that is the reflection of the pure consciousness of God within creation. So everything that you see around you, it feels very different. This mic is different than my hand. And if I hit the mic, the atoms in my hand and the mic won't merge together, right? Because all of these things that we see around us are vibrating at a certain frequency. So it's just like if the fan is on and it's moving, you feel that it's one big circle, but it's just three blades which are rotating at a fast speed. So everything we see around us, all the atoms, everything is in a constant state of vibration, and that gives us the illusion of matter, of physical matter of this world. And if we want to transcend this physical world, that is our way back through the cosmic vibration of Om. So Yogananda ji says, I want to get this matter completely settled into your consciousness. I love how he puts that. He continues, while prayer and meditation are good, and we should practice them, we must not forget that the purpose of meditation is to receive this Holy Ghost. No one, if he doesn't know the Om vibration, can get there. That is all there is to it. Right? So he's saying no matter you are a Christian, Hindu, Muslim, everyone, if he has to achieve his own divine potential, has to achieve union with the vibration of Om. The Om vibration, it's often referred to as a sound, but even light and everything else is just a manifestation of that vibration. It's very interesting if you take the note A in the musical notes in the octave, that vibrates, the science tells us, has a frequency of 440 hertz, okay? And if you make that frequency a billion times shorter, that becomes the color red, yeah? So sound and light are essentially the same. They are all manifestations of Om. And even today you see a lot of techniques coming up, even apart from the spiritual path, where people are able to sense the vibration of objects around them without even seeing them. Recently, I was reading about this very interesting school which teaches children how to be aware of their surroundings without looking. So they blindfold the children, and I was looking at the videos, and these children are driving little go-karts blindfolded. If you put up an object in front of them, they say, this is a tiger, this is a goat, this is color red, that is color blue, because they have been trained just to sense the vibration of these objects around them, and they are doing that, of course, by attuning themselves through this cosmic vibration. And all of these things are becoming more and more possible in the age of energy that we are living in. But practically, for all of us, as I said, the path of self-realization goes through the checkpoint of Om, if you can say that. And Yogananda ji said that when we meditate, the meditator, through the practice of the Om technique, first listens to the sound of Om in the right ear, and then he expands it to fill his whole brain, his body. And with that cosmic vibration, as soon as his consciousness expands beyond the body with the Om vibration, and once you break out of the body, there is no limit to how far you can go. So you continue to merge and commune with Om, and that state is called the Om Samadhi. So once you commune with Om, then you commune with Tat and Sat, which ultimately leads you to the pure consciousness of God. And when you listen to Om for the first time, you will find out that it is a sound, as many saints have said, that you can listen to for eternity. They call it by many different phrases: the soundless roar, the music of the spheres, whatever you call it. And this sound is ever new. If you take a piece of music and listen to it 20 times every day, in a week you'll get tired of it. But the Om vibration is such that you can continue to listen to it for eternity and never tire of it. Because when you listen to it, it brings peace and love to your heart, it calms down your mind, and there is total stillness because you are communing with the cosmic vibration. Saint Francis said that about Om, he said, "This music is so sweet and beautiful that had it lasted a moment longer, I would have melted away from the sheer joy of it." And those of you who practice the Om technique of meditation, I would advise a little experiment you can do. When you go home, search for the sound of the sun. NASA has been able to capture the sound of the sun and of many different planets in the universe, and you'll see they are all vibrating with the sound of Om. It's very, very fascinating. The same vibration that we all can hear in our own personal meditation is the vibration that has created the universe. And so Sachi, as she was praying, leading us in the prayer, we know that we are a part of Om, that we are a part of Divine Mother. But through practice, we have to deepen our realization of the cosmic vibration, our awareness of it, and slowly expand it so much that our consciousness is completely identified with it. So that's the Om vibration for, and how it can help us to achieve self-realization. But in a more day-to-day context, Yogananda ji also said that Om is Divine Mother. Simply, Om is Divine Mother, and Divine Mother, as the vibration of Om, is keeping creation going continuously all the time. And he said that we can pray to Divine Mother as Om, to come to us as Om. And Jesus Christ also called this vibration as the Comforter. It's very interesting. He calls this the Comforter because as soon as you listen to Om, you feel that you are protected, that nothing can touch you, that you are forever protected in that Om vibration. Recently some of us went to Kolkata, where there are shrines of many of our masters. Yogananda ji's childhood was spent in Kolkata, and many other saints and their shrines. And one of the places in our itinerary was the Dakshineshwar temple. So in the Dakshineshwar temple, it's most made famous by, let's say, Ramakrishna Paramhansa, and he lived a lot of his life there and was devoted to Kali. And there is an incident in his life where his guru, he knew that Ramakrishna is going into all these mystical states and trances when he would see Divine Mother as Kali in that temple. But he wanted to have Ramakrishna experience the state of pure consciousness beyond form. So one day when he was meditating Ramakrishna, his guru took a piece of glass and shattered it here on his spiritual eye and said, you have to go beyond what you are seeing. You have to go even beyond Divine Mother as Kali to commune with her as the infinite Om. And so in his meditation, he took a sword and he pierced the form of Kali, and then he went into that state of cosmic consciousness. And keeping that in mind, I was going to these sites and temples, and all of us as a group, 24 of us, we were trying to commune with Om, to keep in mind to worship Divine Mother as Om. And when I went to the Dakshineshwar temple, I found out to my surprise that it's one of the busiest day you can ever be there. It was a Tuesday, it was Ashtami of the waxing moon, if I'm not wrong. And so hundreds of people, the line started as soon as you enter the temple, you're standing in the line to go to the idol. So I did not go in the line. I knew that we only have an hour with our group in the itinerary. So I went in front of the statue. There is a little portico where Yogananda ji meditated, and he had also had a vision of Kali there, Divine Mother. So from there, I was sort of tiptoeing like this and trying to have a look at the statue. And I basically told Divine Mother that, there's so many people today. I don't think I can come nearer to you. So let me just get my darshan from here, and I think we'll proceed. So after I did that, I went to the left of the portico, and I sort of, in a daze, looking at the crowd, said no chance on the left side. Then I went on the right side. I looked again, hundreds of people, no chance of getting a darshan today. So suddenly, security guard comes up to me and says, are you alone? I said, no, I actually, now that you ask, we are 24 of us. So he said, do you want to take darshan? I said, yes. So basically, I had to pay him a little money. But I went in, and I was not expecting to get a darshan at all. So when I stood in front of the statue of Divine Mother, of course, I felt very comforted that Divine Mother listened to all of us and she's blessing us with this darshan. And I took a darshan for 30 seconds, 1 minute. There were many other people there, and I was trying to be respectful. So I was coming back. As soon as I turned back, someone grabbed me from my shoulder and said, no, you have not looked at her properly. Go back there. I said, oh, okay. And so when I stood again there for a good 2-3 minutes in front of the statue, I felt such a great power of divine love and reassurance that not only is Divine Mother listening, but she is pulling us back as the cosmic vibration to merge back into Om, to merge back into God. And then we were all very, very moved, all of us who took darshan that day, just thinking about how Divine Mother has arranged all of this for us. And at the end of it, I had to stop myself from crying in front of hundreds of people there and make my way back to where I was. And the blessings of that darshan will continue for all of us who were there. But just to say that, the Om vibration is not just a vibration. It's not something which is inert. It's actually Divine Mother, as Yogananda ji said. And we all can commune with Divine Mother, ask her to free us, to fill our consciousness with Om. And the Om vibration, therefore, is not only the mystery of creation, but it's our own individual and the only pathway to self-realization. God bless you.
The communing with Om is actually the only way that we can feel our oneness with God, which will take us to that realization and oneness with God of who we truly are and a permanent happiness. And Yogananda ji, as he mentioned, has given this Om technique to commune with God, which can help us. And if we don't know this, we can learn it from here. But I was just feeling that when we are not meditating, when we are not sitting and doing that technique, there are enormous number of ways that we can commune with Om, we can use this power of Om, we can bring this consciousness of Om into our lives. Because the more we tune in, the more we are using this vibration of Om in several ways, we are actually attuning and communing with Om. We are bringing Om into our consciousness, and the more we bring it and more we attune to it, the more easier it will be for us to be closer to God, to feel that oneness with God. And just to emphasize the importance of Om, Lahiri Mahashaya, who is the guru of the guru's guru, Paramhansa Yoganandaji's guru's guru, whose picture is right here if you don't know, he says that to listen to Om is the only work appointed to man. To listen to Om is the only work appointed to man. It is that important that the purpose of human life is actually only to commune with Om, because only by that we will realize, we will know the realities of the universe, we will know the realities of ourselves, and we will know why we are here, what we are doing here. So that is how important it is for us to commune with this Om. Swami Kriyananda, in his book Demystifying Patanjali, which has the teachings of the ancient sage Patanjali and as taught to Swamiji by his guru Paramhansa Yogananda. So in that book, Swami Kriyananda writes that it is Om which has all the three aspects, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. So Om is that consciousness which imbibes, which has all these three consciousness in it. And so we can use this Om whenever, even to create things, and which is Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the transformer which changes. So we can, when we are using Om, we are really bringing this consciousness into whatever we are doing. Swamiji says, that when he had mentioned that when he created music, new melodies, he used to create music. When he was creating new melodies and new music, he could really feel that vibration of Om within him. And it was this vibration of Om which was giving him this music, which is that creative force and energy behind. Even Paramhansa Yogananda says that when a baby is born, in the mother's womb, from the embryo, the whole body is actually made from Om. It is Om which really forms that body. It is that creative force of Om. So really we can use this, we can keep the Om chanting playing in our houses all the time, and it will keep that creative force, that energy, that uplifted freshness and consciousness in our homes all the time. And Swamiji also says, that it has a very transforming and a healing power. That is why in Paramhansa Yoganandaji's healing techniques, we use the power of Om to bring about healing, to bring about transformation. And I use this a lot of times. Swamiji, says this, and it is how we can make Om more practical and usable for us. And he says that whenever you have, supposing, discomfort or any pain or anything in any part of the body, we just visualize that part and we chant Om as if we are sending Om vibration to it. And I do yoga classes and I use it a lot, because these days, everyone who comes, they have knee pain and they have lower back pain. I don't know why and how, but they have that. And then, so we really rub our hands, we keep our hands on that, and we're sending Om, Om, Om. And everyone who has used it has felt a difference. Everyone. Just a couple of days ago, I was feeling very heavy in my stomach, and it was very, very discomfort, and I don't know why it was. And our usual thing is, always to just pop up a pill. Dawai kha liya, ho jayega theek. And then, but that's not, we have this powerful technique of Om. And I instead just put my hand on my belly and just chanted Om few times, sending Om energy. And when I opened my eyes, there was a distinct change. I felt lighter and the discomfort went. So we can really use Om as a medicine pill also. It really, really works more wonderfully than anything. So Master also gives one more, Yogananda ji also gives one more technique of, he says that supposing when you have a very disturbed sleep or not being able to sleep properly, he says with your finger, write Om 3 times on the pillow. And then you feel that, you are bathed in light and you're surrounded by light, and then sleep. And from the time I've read it, I'm always doing it every night, whether I have a disturbed sleep or not. And distinctly, there is a change in the way you sleep. Completely sound sleep. And when you wake up, you are like fresh. Even if you're sleeping, even if you don't have a good 6 hours sleep in the night, you're just sleeping for 2-3 hours, but you wake up fresh. It is very, very powerful. Paramhansa Yogananda also says that when you are in Om, nothing can touch you. When you are in Om, nothing can touch you. And there was an incident that had happened in Ananda village in 2004. And this truth was really demonstrated very powerfully at that time. They had a fire in the whole village, and the fire was at the lower part, and it is on the mountain. So and because it was very breezy, the fire was then really moving upward very fast because of the force of the breeze also. And the government immediately sent help. There were like 400 people sent, firefighters. There were, 40 of these fire engines. There were these helicopters, the air tankers, and everything possible was done. But the fire wasn't being able to control. The fire was not stopping. And then Nayaswami Devi, along with 50 other devotees, she got the idea that let's pray and let's send Om. So they went into one of the side, a little safer place, and 50 of them that started praying and started chanting Om with every prayer. And they did it for 2 hours. And after 2 hours, the fire got in control, and it was in control, it was stopped. And when all this happened, after that, the head of the whole firefighter team, he came and he was amazed. He said, I have never seen this in my entire life. He said that when the wind was blowing in the upward direction very, very fast, and it was really approaching all the houses, the cluster of houses where they were. But just when it reached there, the wind suddenly changed the direction and it moved in the opposite direction. It did not go far. He said, I have never seen this happen. It just dramatically changed the direction, and all that was protected. Nothing was destroyed in that way. A part which was lower was, but otherwise, after that, all that was protected. And this they really witnessed, that when you are in Om, when you have this Om vibration surrounding you, you are protected and nothing can harm you. I had a personal experience of Om. I learned classical music, singing, and in that we have a sadhana which is called Chilla. Now in Chilla, it is a 40 days sadhana where the teacher gives the student a phrase to sing, and that student has to sing it for 4 hours for 40 days every single day. And the challenge, the tapasya, is to not move. So if I decide that, okay, I'm going to sit like in a cross-legged position with my spine straight and do it, I have to be in that pose every single day for 40 days without moving for 4 hours. And we can't change the place, we can't change the time, we can't change the posture. The only thing I was allowed to move, so I was sitting in a cross-legged position with my spine straight and I had my tanpura in front of me. So the only thing was allowed was these 2 fingers. to just play the strings of the tanpura. Only that was allowed, and I took permission to move my head. I couldn't believe that I would be like this. So I said, can I move my head? He said, okay. So he gave me a simpler version because I was doing it for the first time. So I did a 15-day thing for 3 hours. And the first thing usually they give is Om chanting. So I did Om chanting for 3 hours, sitting in the same posture, same place, same time for 15 days. Now, initially, when you know that you're not supposed to move, God will test you. God will send a fly out of nowhere. The window was closed. I don't know from where it came. The fly will come. The hair starts moving on the face, distracting. I was feeling itching, on my leg that to do things. You can't squeeze, you can't sneeze, you can't cough, because if you move, what happens is if I break my chilla, they say that you have to start from day one. So if my spine is straight, I can't even relax it like this, because if I relax, I move, I break my chilla. So I have to start from day one again. So it was quite difficult, the first few days. And I'd kept Master's picture to help me in front of me. So it happened. But as I was gradually doing it, I started feeling that 3 things happened. First is, I started getting so still day by day by doing this Om chanting that gradually I didn't need the field to move, even my head, which was allowed. I was so still that even this movement was getting distracting. So I didn't need to move. Another thing I really noticed, that gradually these flies, this itching, this machar, all that, it was not bothering me. I could really keep my mind focused, and I was not, I could immediately bring it back. Like it wasn't distracting me anyways. It wasn't a botheration anyways, like how it was earlier. But a main thing that I really felt was I was feeling more and more control over my prana, over my energy. So whenever something, even my knees was getting numb sometimes. So whenever something like this happened, that I was feeling an itch or something like that, I would focus at that point and I will feel that I'm withdrawing the energy and I'm bringing it here. And especially that time when I was in that Om thing, when I was doing it, I could really feel things moving inside me and coming back up. It was amazing, that feeling, because that I used it later, that to completely be still, and that really it was getting more and more in my control, to not move if I don't want to move, to not get distracted in my mind if I don't want to get distracted. It was extremely a powerful experience, and I had started learning meditation here at that time. I think it was in my second level. And that sadhana helped me in my meditation to keep still. It gained control over my energy and my mind, both extremely powerful. And then, recently I read that when you do this kind of Om chanting, one of the siddhis that you get is that you become a master of the cosmic energy. And I really got a taste of it when I did that. It was a beautiful experience. One last thing I would like to share is also, Yogananda ji, whenever somebody would ask him that to give a mantra or something, he would always give the mantra of Om Guru. And he explained that it is a prayer to the Guru by the disciple to introduce him to Om, because Om is the only way we can go back to our source, we can connect with God. There is one more saying, and I will end with that, which is by another saint and another guru, and he tells his disciple that a guru, like I'm paraphrasing it, he says the guru is like a gatekeeper. When God is pleased with you, the guru will give you Om. So really, Om is our gate pass to meet God. It is that important, and as Lahiri ji says, the whole purpose of our life, the main important thing of our life is to listen to Om.